And hi guys, and welcome to this live show. We're going to talk about Dune versus 40k, and at the end of the stream, we're going to make a review of Dune 2. If you're interested in that, you can stay up to the end. But through this time, we're going to talk about how you should forget everything that you think you know about the two universes, because we're going to give you our unique spin on takes and comparison between the two universes. So Logan here is my comic book expert friend, but he also knows something about Dune, and he is familiar enough with 40k to know the differences between the two, so he's going to make a great partner in this comparison here. So Logan, what do you think in terms of vastness of the 40k universe?
Pretty vast.
I
I'd
mean,
say.
have you ever seen
Yeah.
anything more vast
Well,
than the
no.
40k universe?
I mean, first time I heard actually about it, I didn't knew it started way back. No, I
Yeah.
thought it's first that it's just video games and books. I think I thought that the books are the first thing. Then I find out about the miniature and everything else. Uh, and it's still interesting how actually everything expands even more from the codex and the other things that actually put things into the universe. Now, I still can't get exactly how, how that happens. I mean, uh, so now some of the books are the canon and whatever it is in the codex, right?
Yeah,
Interesting.
everything is canon,
Yeah.
pretty much. There's some old lore, and there's some new lore that kind of like retcon the old lore,
Mm.
like what happened with the Emperor and Horus and all of that. But other than this, everything is canon. At least it isn't. At least something
Until
of the
it
new.
isn't,
I
yeah.
mean, some of the new books decide to retcon it, and something in the codex. So yeah, the codex is what's used on the tabletop. There's the rules. There's some kind of a lore and a story, and you can use that as a guide. Of course, people that actually play the tabletop can add more to this, but there's a lot of interesting things. Like for example, when the lion was reintroduced to the universe, basically, when he was brought back to life, there was something in the codex, like a small book that told us some stories, and I never got that. I mean, we're never getting these things in an audio form, and I can only consume audio form, unfortunately, when it comes to 40k lore. So I can literally, I mean, cannot just sit down and read it because I just don't have the physical time to do that. But when it's in audio form, I can just consume all the lore that I want. And then we got more on that story basically in his own book, which is amazingly voice acted, like all 40k books are. But just when it's a codex, we don't get that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we are going to try to keep it laser focus because both of these universes are just very big. But 40k, that's one of the first similarities. It is a lot bigger. It takes place in the 40k universe, which means 40,000 years in the future. But before that, there's a lot of more lore that leads to these 40,000 years. So basically, it starts from before our times. Even it explains about the origin of the emperor of mankind, and he lives for thousands and thousands of years up to the 30k, where he gets almost killed, and he gets he gets to be one with the golden throne, which is a device that sustains him, and the emperor sustains the device itself. And that is clear with the last three books that came out, especially the End and the Dead Part 3, especially. So that book adds to the 30k lore, which now adds to the 40k lore. Whereas Dune takes a part throughout like 20,000 years of a period or something like that. And it still follows like quote unquote our history, whereas for example if you have Star Wars, it is a different universe, it's not our history, humanity is just different somewhere else. We don't know where even. I don't know if anyone knows really where Star Wars is supposed to take place, but it's totally fictional, does not come from our human evolution as we know it, so to speak. Whereas Dune and 40K do that to some extent. Both universes had their technological ups and downs. There was a period in both universes where mankind had invented the AI and progressed so far that actually threatened humanity. And we can see this similarity in many, many science fiction novels, and it's not something that we just find out about, you know. It's like, oh my gosh, a 40K copied this from Dune. No, this is a common idea that many authors throughout history actually had, and Isaac Asimov, with Foundation,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
some extent, he had similar ideas. So it's not something that we can say, oh, it's taken, it's copied. When we talk about copying, we really have to think about where is a direct copy paste idea just brought to life in another universe and where is just inspiration, because when you're a creator of anything you can take inspiration and just make something in your own image, so to speak, through your own ideas and visions. And this is exactly what happened between Dune and 40K. Whatever we see in Dune, there's some equivalent in 40K, but also there are so many other things that are not present in Dune that does not work in the same way that they would work in Dune, or they're just totally different. For example, the Bene Gesserit, the women from the Bene Gesserits. That's what their name.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have this ability where they can see some fragments of the future, and of course we know that Poe, he's the first man that can take this potion of life and become the Kwisatz Haderach, basically. Yeah, the guy that can do everything that they can do, but more, and see clearly the future, which gives him enormous advantages before anyone in the known universe. So that is how he progresses, being emperor and everything. And then we see the story of his son, which we will get to. So in 40K we just have the emperor, and the emperor is end all be all, so to speak, because he is the most advanced human being in every way possible. He has his right hand, of course, which is the amazing and just fabulous human being that I don't know what happened to my brain. I just forgot his name. Wait. I'm sure that the chat's gonna tell me. I talked about him multiple times, and just name.
The one in the book that
Doesn't
that you
remember.
liked. That is your favorite book, or
No.
Mm.
Okay. You guys know that I've talked about him so many times, so I cannot believe that I forgot his name. But okay, there's no such being in Dune, anyways. So there's always been about the Emperor. And the Emperor progressed through all of the millennia, and he eventually became the Emperor. He eventually unified humanity. Then he eventually just brought all the human colonies under the banner of the Emperor, the Imperium, and everything that is mankind, all the planets, billions, trillions of planets, everything is under the Imperium, and the Emperor is the Emperor of mankind. Where in Dune, there's different houses on different planets. Humanity is like in fragments, and each fragment is each family. So kind of like Game of Thrones,
More
you can
like
say.
that, actually. Yes.
Yeah, it's more like Game of Thrones. So wow, I mean, why?
It's more of the politics that you have.
Yeah, political. So we cannot say now that the author of Game of Thrones is just, hey, I'm just taking these things from you now.
No,
Maybe he got an
was
inspiration.
inspired by that. Yeah.
That's kind of the point. There's a lot more inspiration from author to author that they put in their own works than it is copying. You can just take the idea of families feuding and just make totally different world. Why not? Because your story is still going to be different than what you have taken inspiration from. So this is the idea here. And Dune is very, very different when you take that into account. The different families. Humanity is one, but then there's the different planets and families. Whereas Warhammer, there's no such thing at all. It's just the Emperor, everyone under the Emperor. That's it. And then you have Xenos, and the Xenos are many kinds. The Orcs, the Eldar, the Jesus Christ, the help me here. It's very late, guys. Sorry. The Necrons, the Tau, who you like,
Yeah.
actually, and I said the
The
Orcs,
Orcs,
right?
the Tyranids.
Yeah, the
You can say
Tyranids.
yes.
Then we have the Chaos Gods and all of that. There's some other alien species as well. There's some ogres, mutants, and so on, actually.
Clayton says Malkador.
Thank you, yes. So the right hand of the Emperor is my Malkador the Sigillite, who actually pushed him to become the Emperor. So he is like this absolutely amazing figure, and what we see brings the Emperor more closer, like closer, not more closer, sorry, English, closer to humanity, because Malkador is like his human compass. In the same way, Malkador also can be cynical towards the Primarchs when it comes to their usefulness as weapons, because at one point they're just weapons. That's not the topic. Okay, there's no such thing in Dune, okay? The what we're going to get here eventually as a conclusion is that Dune and Warhammer 40k are more different than similar, because I have talked to so many other fans such as myself that are like, they're the same, and 40k copy Dune. No, yeah, I took inspiration, but there's so many different things. Why is not, how's the question?
Also, didn't Warhammer start at 1980? What?
1987 or something?
Okay. Well,
So why anyone
I don't know why
does not recognize the differences?
Yeah, I don't know why people would think that it's the same when, in Dune is really a lot more political and stuff like that. I mean, you have in that holy war that they prepare for. So I don't even see it as so much of a dark grim there. Not that nice things happen there, no, but
It's not
really,
as grim dark
yeah,
as 40k.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really different. And,
It is. It is.
yeah, you have bad things happen, for example, to the Fremen or whatever they were called, but not all the time. I mean, they have chance. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty
So-
pretty clear that in general Dune is not as grim dark.
Yeah,
In general.
in general. So yeah.
But then again, their god is more fake than the Emperor from 40k,
Yeah.
and
Also,
a lot less powerful than him.
the aesthetic is very different. So again, this Dune always looked to me more like a, Prince of Persia with some science fiction elements or something like that. So
Yeah.
I really don't see why people would say, no, it's the same, or they took this from here and they took that from there, when actually there's so much differences between the two things.
Yeah, and why? And guys, I appreciate and watch a lot of other Warhammer creators myself for a few years now. I watch Major Kill, and he did a video about both universes, I think a year ago or something. He said that, GW wants to say that they have this original IP, where in reality they don't. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here. He did not say exactly the same thing, but it meant the same thing. But I think that, yeah, GW does have very original IP overall, because there's really nothing like 40k in reality when we count the differences. So we're going to continue with the differences here. So in Dune, we don't see the super soldier element. We see, of course, a lot of capable soldiers, but they are just humans in the end of the day. People that take the spice, that they have blue
I mean,
eyes.
they have some type of powers, I think, by taking the spice, but I think that's it, as far as I remember again, yeah.
I mean, they die just as regular
And
people.
yeah,
so
we don't see anything else about that. I mean, enhancement or something like that.
it's
no?
supposed to enhance their health somehow.
Maybe that's the only thing, or to clear your mind. Nobody ever said what exactly spice dance.
Yeah, but they're still
So,
going to die.
but they're they
same
don't
way.
get a bigger, taller, or something like that, or
Yeah.
stronger. So yeah, there are no exactly genetically enhanced people there.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
Not
such.
even from the Harkonnens, I think they're again.
They're just bald people.
Yeah, yeah.
Very disgusting, psychotic, bald
Psychotic,
people.
all of them, yeah. So that's it.
That's their interesting part.
Yeah,
And the fact that they have no eyebrows.
yeah.
Oh,
Which
yes.
makes them
Very original. That's so original.
so original, yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to, I mean, we both notice a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to different universes and movies in general, not only
yeah.
here, but in general, in
general,
other stuff. Like, when it comes to how, I mean, we are going to talk about at the end of this stream when we get to the review of the movie. But guys, believe me, there's some things in Dune that are not really explained, that things just happen. People are just there in different places, but nobody said anything on the reviews. Nobody complained.
yeah.
Nobody criticized this aspect. But when it comes to other movies, and people just are somewhere else, it doesn't matter how, or sometimes it's a lot more clear why they're there. But then in some movies they choose to ignore this. In some movies like Dune, because it's high level movie, and the
People don't want to say a bad thing.
they just don't. Yeah, they're just like, oh, it's Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve. Jesus, I'm sorry, French names, not my strong suit. And they're like, we're not gonna criticize this at all. Just gonna say this is the most brilliant movie ever made. Yeah, because it's like the cool thing to say. But okay, we have to be at least not a hypocrite
Yes.
when you're criticizing some aspects of one movie and another has the same bad or good quality. Why are you skipping to mention it? Just totally like not see it at all. Like, what's happening here? And we saw that in Madame Web, actually, when we went to see Madame Web, and this movie was totally destroyed throughout the internet. But blatant lies were said about what happened in the movie.
That actually didn't happen, yeah.
By major reviewers.
Yes.
Like, for example, I mean, there's a lot of examples. We don't want to get into Madame Web now. But it's the same principle, how people see things with the universes, so kind of it's related, guys. So, for example, Grace Randolph said that in some part of the movie, a hole exploded in the wall, and a perfect shape of a door appeared between the bricks. But it was not a perfect shape at all.
And it didn't,
It was not.
It
was
like that.
Literally how you would imagine if something explodes close to a brick wall, and how the bricks are going to fall, and because they have certain shape, it's going to like be in this shape because they're bricks. It's not perfect. It was like in the shape of the bricks.
Wasn't, She also said that only Madame Web and the other girls could see the villain when he's in costume, which was not the case.
No.
He was
in the costume.
Yeah, he was clearly
in front of everyone. It wasn't in their imagination.
It was a costume that he has to put on, and then Angry Joe said that we never saw how he actually get into the costume, and I said, but we never see that in any superhero movie, Joe.
Yeah.
Why would they show us? Would they show us how Spider-Man is running and doing this, and then taking everything off and putting his socks and getting the jeans away and all the other things? I mean,
that's gonna take a while. Screen time.
And
important.
Again, we didn't see how Paul Atreides collects all of his army here, and no one said a thing.
No one said a thing, but in Aquaman, oh my gosh, we did not see how Black Manta found his army. How he gathered.
How he get them, how he paid them, maybe he robbed a bank. Let's see how he goes inside the bank and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
So it's like, what the heck is the hypocrisy here? So it's okay in Dune when you don't show how Emperor, let's say an emperor just appears from somewhere, and just he's already on the planet doing things, and the other whoever fat guy is there, and they're just there.
Baron Harkonnen.
We're not gonna get.
He was just there,
So they're just there. They didn't show that they want to go there or travel there, or what's the plan, or we're just gonna be there,
Yeah.
so we can get killed by everyone.
Or
Something.
as the emperor, that emperor from Dune would say, because it was Christopher Walken playing him, how in the world did I get in here? Paul Atreides, we have to stop him. Yeah. So that's my Christopher Walken. But on the topic of hypocrisy, people really forget that now there is a clear example for when it's copy paste something and when it's inspiration. So inspiration is, for example, Batman, who was inspired by several things like the Shadow, that old Pope comic book character, and Zorro, and some other guys like that. Okay, so that's the inspiration, because he doesn't use the same costumes, but it's kind of the same again, vigilante with no powers. You switch the costume a bit and other things, and then the copy pasting is the creator, one of the creators of Batman actually, Bob Kane, because there are two people. Forget that Bill Finger is the one who actually wrote most of the things. Bob Kane is the artist, and again, Bill Finger told him, why don't you draw him with a black costume? The costume was way different before that. And then there was a moment in which Bob Kane, when he tried to write stories, because he was not a writer, again, just an artist, he blatantly copy-pasted some adventures of the Shadow comic book with Batman, which were absolutely the same, just done with Batman inside. Now, these are the two examples, I would say. So we can't say that really something here was copied and then another thing is a ripoff. That's just an inspiration.
Yeah. And people cannot make the difference.
Yes,
It
exactly.
seems. And when it comes to movies, how they just judge them, they
Yeah.
cannot make the difference what is something. What is actual reason for a character to do something. They ignore that. And then when there's no explanation, in one movie is fine and the
One
other movie is not fine.
Yes, because all the action scenes were so great and everything, and
I mean, we love Endymion, for example.
Yeah,
Most of his
Most-
videos. But even he said things that never happened in Madame Web.
Yeah.
Like, for example, her mother went to the jungle to search for a spider that can cure some disease. But there's
Yeah.
no reason for that. She just went there.
Exactly. That's what would you think if you just watched the trailer or the first 10 minutes of the movie? But if you watch the whole movie, you know that there was a reason, you know why she was there, you pretty much know everything. They
It's
don't just-
connected to her
connected,
daughter,
yes.
but no one said that. It's connected to the life of her daughter. The fact that she saved her daughter, aka Madame Web's life, by going there, finding the spider. She gets bitten by the spider, and that's how Madame Web gets her powers when she is in her mother's womb. So many things that are clearly in the story, in the movie, but even the reviewers that we really respect, and they are very good when it comes to objectivity, especially in today's times when we see so many woke stuff, and Madame Web is not woke at all.
Yeah.
And and even he said so many things that did not happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Blatant lies.
Just for views, probably. Who knows?
I really don't know. Exactly. Reality
Yeah.
is different, and we can see these things, and some people cannot see these things. I just don't get it. And yeah, there are some Pepsi commercials throughout the movie, but because certain stuff actually were compelling when it comes to, if you have not missed everything, like people that missed some details of the story, then you don't actually see it. I really don't see it. I don't care if she drinks Pepsi, and then at the end of the movie there's a huge Pepsi sign, which I never
mean-
saw
I mean,
actually. I'm
that's
just
not-
watching the letters fall or
Yeah.
something.
Also, that's not the first movie that does it, I mean.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, in Man of Steel there's so many IHOP.
Yeah, I mean.
He's crashing into IHOP, and
Yeah.
I don't care about where it's crashing into.
Yeah.
I'm living in Bulgaria. I don't have an IHOP here. They don't do anything by impressing most of the world, which does not have these things. Yeah, some of the Americas, South
So-
America will probably be like, oh yes, I have a reminder of this in my head. Maybe I'll go to IHOP later for pancakes or something. But most of the world does not have
Does
these
not care about
chains.
those things, yeah.
And they don't care. I just want to
Exactly.
see Superman fighting, in this case, this amazing Kryptonian woman. And watch this scene. This scene has so much meaning. And the same with Madame Web and that scene with the Pepsi sign. I just didn't see what letter tell where it was a scene where
It was an S, and I actually did
Yeah.
not thought that it's because of the Pepsi. I saw an S and I said, probably it's because Spider-Man or something like that.
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
was an S, so.
Okay.
But
That
let's
was
continue,
yeah, that was just to make a point. You know how people can be very like really hypocritical,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I've said,
yeah,
about certain
exactly.
things, and then see things here and not see things there
Yeah.
for some reason. And here's with the universe now. So, like I said in Dune, we have first Paul, and he leads people eventually. He becomes whatever he becomes, the emperor. But is his son, Paul the Second? Forgot his name.
Or what?
Leto.
Little the
Yeah,
second,
that
yes.
actually becomes the worm.
Mhm.
He merges himself with the worm, and he becomes the God Emperor. He can see the future and the past and whatever. And he's very powerful.
And a worm,
And the worm, disgusting worm.
yes.
Yeah, basically immortal, or he can live through thousands of years in this form. Okay, in 40k, like I said, it's just the Emperor. So he has his primars, but they are never meant to be, his successors. It's supposed to be just the Emperor because he's absolutely immortal, unless somebody comes and kills him, which it happens eventually. But he's supposed to be this way. And then when it comes to Dune, Leto is supposed to have heirs, but he stays the Emperor until he's also eventually killed in a very ridiculous way. And that cannot happen to the Emperor of Mankind. At least it's not a ridiculous way. At least he still is alive by some extent, and at least he fought through thick and thin, through his teeth, and all of those things that you can say to remain alive. So when it comes to power levels, both are just totally different powers. Both can see the future, the past, and whatever. But it's always a possible futures in both universes. So the Emperor of Mankind in 40k also explains how you see that there's a few possible ways that you can get to a particular future, but you have to think how to do that. If you want one variant of the future and you can see it, you have to make certain steps still to reach that, and you don't always know how you're going to do that. So even if you have the advantage of seeing the future, that doesn't mean that you can automatically secure that future for yourself. That's not how this works. And I think it's kind of similar in Dune. He can also do certain things to make sure that what he wants happens, but he still is able to lose in certain situations because eventually
Yeah.
Leto gets killed.
Yeah.
So he could not stop that, basically. I don't know how exactly he cannot, but he couldn't. Okay.
Also, nobody fights about the spices here.
Yeah, also in 40k we do not have the spice.
Yeah, and not that really political aspect of which house is going to rule what, and all the other machinations, let's say, of that, which is why I kind of liked a bit more. I mean, those political things never got me so much. I don't know why. It's always, maybe it's the way it was written when I first read the book. Not that it's bad, of course, so that the Dune fans don't come with the book and tell me read it again, man, read it again. Just I never saw it as compelling as it should be. So now political things sometimes in fantasy I like when it's about this castle and then we go and do that. So probably to me at least it was the way that it was written. The book. In the movie we talk a bit later, as we say. So that aspect never got me so excited. Now, if it was more like Paul has to do his stuff, would be a bit better. Also, wouldn't the Harkonnens fit with Swanesh? I actually this just popped into my mind.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, exactly.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
but still, just again, inspiration probably of some of that. I would say, and not that this will be the first not a race, because they're supposed to be people. I never got that actually with them. Let's say they are. It wouldn't be the first house of something or a race or kingdom or whatever that are like that. That are these dreadful psychotic killers that nobody likes except
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah.
You can even point out to some anime universe in which you can find something
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy
For
or
example, yeah.
something. Yeah.
Here you go.
And Dear Ivy says the Baron is self-serving and manipulative, but it could be beneficial to those on his side. Well, actually, he can kill even his own relatives,
Yeah.
so I don't think so. I mean, even the character Batista killed most of the people that he talked to in the movie. Kind of literally, actually.
Yeah, kind of literally.
And Lady Jessica could be a human version of a Sister of Battle. I don't think so, dear Ivy. I mean, to compare things this way is exactly the problem that we have here. Because she cannot fight, first of all. She's more comparative. I mean, yeah, she can be compared more to a psyker in the Warhammer universe. But she does not have any lightning from her fingers. She can compel people to do whatever she wants with her voice ability. She can see in the future feel things, but other than that, she has nothing to do with a psyker. A psyker from Warhammer can do much more than she can. And then a Sister of Battle is not a psyker. She's a warrior, and that is it. So between Lady Jessica and Sister of Battle, there's nothing. Sisters of Battle are very capable female warriors. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat or just range, it doesn't matter. They're just weaker physically than a Space Marine, but they're doing the same things as Space Marines do. Just here is a matter of the physical strength and durability is not the same. But they're active soldiers. They're more than a regular Astra Militarum soldier, but they are less than a Space Marine. They're still very capable, though, to fight Necrons, all kinds of aliens, still very capable. So you're comparing a normal woman that anyone can slap across, you know? I mean, even a stronger physically woman can just slap her ass.
Yeah.
To a huge, amazing warrior woman that can beat most people that are not Astartes and even most aliens. So yeah, and Ivy says, "Oh, best Ray-Ban."
Beast.
Uh,
Raven.
Raven.
This was Batista's character.
Ah, yeah, he was a hothead. The Baron is super clever and polite in the book. Lady Jessica is a warrior too. Her order are the best of fighters. Mary right now, Lady Jessica. Ah, yeah, maybe she could fight in the first movie. I don't remember that much. Oh yes,
they
I
could do
actually.
something. Probably in the book
Yeah.
they did it a bit more, I think.
Okay,
But
not any
yeah.
woman can slap her ass then, but still, Sister of Battle, that's very high level. Because if Lady Jessica is like Astra Militarum type of a level, combat level, then she's still anywhere near the Sister of Battle. And there's a lot of, I mean, there's some Sisters of Battle that actually carry mech suits and they can fight extremely well with that, and they become more equal to Astartes in the mech suits.
Yeah, I do remember now that he said that the Baron was really more polite. I mean, that was a fake polite, but he was really more manipulative and polite in the book, unlike what we see in the movie. But even in the old movie, he was again this kind of disgusting, man that
Extremely disgusting.
extremely disgusting.
Slanesh will love him.
It's interesting why in both the old version of the movie and this one they actually count on that. Let's show him how he's just a disgusting person who actually killed people in his room. How did he do that?
We don't want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
It's
so,
probably something
probably
very
that's
lusating.
the difference.
Okay, so okay, but granted they cannot compete with the superhumans
Yeah.
in 40k.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So 40k is a lot more supernatural. I mean, it's supernatural when it compares to Dune. It's not at all supernatural. Maybe a bit when it comes to prophecies and all of that, which in Dune are true. But other than that, I don't see anything else that's more supernatural in Dune. Whereas in 40k, you have the Chaos Gods, which are absolutely existing. You have other ghosts. You have the psychic powers, which are connected to the warp. The warp itself, there's nothing like that in Dune. There's no afterlife that I know of in Dune at all to be present as anything of a sort. So not material, imperium, none of these terms I saw ever in Dune. It's just that I want her to sit next to the amp with the Baron with her because, well, I mean, let's do this. Why do you want the Baron? He's a disgusting ball of
Swine. Yes.
Actually, when he was flying through the movie, because he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
flying on his wheelchair,
Yeah.
I thought that, wow, that's a great example of a shit flying.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
he's
You know,
literal human
you,
shit.
you should see him in the original version. It looks even more disgusting. I
Okay.
think, yeah. So he's something like actually the science fiction version of the Godfather. in that aspect. So yeah.
Yeah, the Bene Gesserit are like elite fighters, psychics, code, but in war against the Imperium of Dune is gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But in war against the Imperium, which Imperium? The 40k Imperium? Ah, yes, the Imperium. Yeah,
The
the
Imperium,
40k
yes.
is going with all of his forces against anyone in Dune.
Yeah,
Dune
yeah,
are dead.
yes.
Anyone.
I mean,
doesn't matter who.
Maybe they stick around a bit longer by using the worms, these sand worms and things, but not for long.
But here, 40k has the ability to destroy whole planets.
So yeah.
They can just perform exterminadas on the
Yes.
planet,
And
and there are no worms, no spice, no anything, no emperor. They're just gonna appear on top of the planet and press a button. That's it, really.
So that the Dune Emperor can say, "Let's get out of here," right? No, yeah. So,
No, he's out of the picture. If let's say that Leto is now on the throne, he can see this. I mean, he can. Let's say we're just gonna evacuate, take all the spies that we can, take a worm or two, and evacuate. He can do that.
Isn't he a worm? Is he going to need worms again after?
Probably he will need more rooms. Yeah, rooms.
How is he sitting on a
Worm?
throne if he's a worm? Okay.
He's not.
No,
I
that's
think
just
he's
a
just
form.
crawling around.
No
Okay.
way. No way. Interestingly enough, I have no memories of that cheap science fiction movie Children of Dune with James McAvoy. I remember I watched it on TV, but it was very convoluted and cheap, so I have no memories of that.
Yeah.
Was this supposed to be? Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, as we say, if really Dune has to fight against anything from Warhammer 40k, really they
Gonna be dead.
don't have a chance. Yeah. I mean, they are good fighters there, but really, how much spice you need to actually have a chance, and if it's too much, wasn't it deadly or something actually? So yeah.
Okay. So let's say that Leto gets everyone, evacuates, goes on the ship. Someone from 40k universe that has this power, probably an Inquisitor, because they should do this. Or let's say that just Gilliman went there and said exterminados, and they just did that. Then I'm not sure if they're going to be able to escape as well. They're just gonna blow them up, or if they can just open a warp, something.
Well,
How did they travel in Dune? That's the thing that I'm kind of
don't think that
missing
they
here.
actually, yeah, I think it's normal space travel, or maybe in the book something was explained, but I really don't remember. I mean,
That's gonna take a ton of
as far
time.
what we saw in the movie, they just,
I mean, they do have navigators,
yeah,
like in 40k. The difference is that they're absolutely disgusting. Not that I mean, in 40k are just humans that could look normal as possible, at least. Okay, so maybe they get destroyed because the Imperium has a lot more ships than anything that all the planets of humanity and Dune can
and I
provide.
think they have better weapons altogether.
So in any case, they get k. Then if the aliens from 40k also come,
Yeah.
then everyone just gets destroyed. That's it, really. Oh, sorry, hit the mic. Poe Atreides says, Ivy, no spice? Oh, I better finish my stash for the greater good and all, so I could predict the future better. I'm not addicted, I swear. Yeah, and also, in the new movie, the spice wasn't present. a bit. It's just
Not that
mentioned.
much, just mentioned.
It's not about the spice, even though it was supposed to be about the spice. It's about the planet and the worms and the spice, but still it's all about the characters. It's not about the spice, but they consume it, but just makes their eyes blue. It didn't seem that the spice matters that much in the second movie as a resource. It's just there, so they can fight over
He ate
it.
it once. Paul, I mean, in something.
I mean, he ate it and everything that he ate, so his
It's
eyes
pretty
became
much in
blue. But
everything, yeah. So,
other than that, it's just like the importance of the spice is more present in the first movie because they're setting up the world. So that's clear. Okay. Okay, so we have super soldiers in Warhammer. We have Primarchs that are these very tall beings that each have something from the Emperor, and they're all minds and abilities as well. They're a lot more durable, they can live for thousands of years. Their own sons, the Astartes, the super soldiers, they can also live for hundreds or thousands of years. It depends really, if they don't get killed of course, but their bodies are able to live through a lot of hundreds of years. Some are thousands and more years old, like Dante. Then if he becomes the next level of Astartes, of course, then he is renewed and he can live more, which is a Primaris Marine. So there's so many things from the 40k world that are just not in Dune at all. And then, okay, we get to see that the regular human soldiers, the Astra Militarum, there are several kinds of them. And in each planet, there's an army of the Astra Militarum. There are different type of an army. There's something like that in Dune, but the differences come, yes, from the planets, but also from the cultures of the planets. In 40k, that's something that is similar, because when you have Cadia, the Cadian Astra Militarum, they are, let's say, a bit better in some areas than a regular Terra Astra Militarum. They're a bit more determined. They have their eyes colored in purple because of the warp hole, the Eye of Terror, that just, split time and space there. Then you have Dead Corpse of Creek. Their world is toxic. They wear masks through their life. They're more resistant to poison and just toxic environments altogether. They're Jesus Christ, relentless. They don't care if they die. They just want to die for the Emperor and so all that. And then you have the Vikings that come from Valhalla, that they're not Vikings. The Astra Militarum that are more like the Vikings, and they come from freezing worlds, and they can fight in very freezing cold environments and so on. But all of them are coming from the Imperium, from one united Imperium, not from several houses in different planets that are different because they're, different royal houses control them. So that's not how Warhammer works. Then once again, the Psychers are very within their power. The Psyker that's most powerful after the Emperor was Magnus the Red. He can just break time and speak to the Emperor. Stuff that, the Bene Gesserit cannot do, especially not on that scale. They can talk to each other telepathically, that's very cool. The Emperor can also do that, and probably Magnus definitely could do that as well, as far as I remember. But they can also do a lot more things, like project themselves in different places. Especially the Emperor can do that. There's like endless list only of the Emperor powers, like endless list of powers. So, they don't need any spice when it comes to Warhammer at all. There's a lot more brutality and darkness in 40k. I mean, everything that the Harkonnens can do, it's on that level of high, disgusting brutality. And you can compare them to, let's say, the Dark Eldar, the Drukhari. They're not as bad as the Drukhari. So Warhammer is always up the ante when it comes to darkness and totally horrible depravity in any level that we do not want to imagine.
And still people claim that there is similarity between the two things.
Yeah, there's so many differences. So
Yeah.
we're focusing
The
here on the
differences are actually really
difference.
more. Yeah.
There's even more difference than that. So we have the alien races in Warhammer. We don't have any alien races in Dune. And each alien race is a story on its own. They have an amazing history, like starting with the freaking Necrons that are older than humanity from the very beginning of known existence. Their fight with the old ones and the other disgusting ones.
All the disgusting ones are there.
Yeah, I've talked about these things many times. You have the younger race, which is the Tau. You have the orcs, which are disgusting as well. You have the Tyranids, which are like alien versus predator, all in one, but destroying everything, everyone. All biomass have to be eaten, and they have a hive mind, and it's very interesting. And they have different types that are trying to become people. They're gene stealers. They just take genes and they look like human, but they run it underneath. It is so fascinating. So even if you take one alien species from Warhammer, you can make series, movies. They have their own novels. I don't know any other universe that is like
that
this.
Is actually so vast. Yeah.
Yes, GW does have freaking amazing IP on their hands.
Yeah.
Warhammer is so different. Come on, it's different. And look at these things.
Yeah, they
Custodies.
they do not look like anything from Dune. I mean,
I just love the custodies.
In Dune, nobody has armors like that, or
Yeah,
the clothing or
another
weapons.
type of a super soldier.
Yeah.
And even they are not like the Astartes. Even they are not. They're made in a different way. They're scarce. I mean, you cannot just make a custody like you make the Astartes. And even the Astartes are hard to make. These are even harder to make. And like one of these guys is equal to, I don't know, 100, 1,000 Astartes or something. One guy can kill a lot of Astartes. And like imagine what one Primarch can do. How many Custodies he can kill. And how many then Astartes he can kill. And then even even when we're talking about the Astartes, you have evil Astartes that turned against the Emperor, became allegiant. I mean, became allegiant. They decided to submit to one of the Chaos Gods. So some went to Khorne, some went to Slanesh, some went to the disgusting Nurgle, some went to Zinch, and they're also different from each other. And their Primarchs also, of course, went to these Chaos Gods and turned against the Emperor. So you have a rich, so rich story from absolutely everything that they can get your hands on when it comes to 40k. You can read a ton of books about the Astra Militarum, and they amazing people, heroes that just rose to the occasion. And although they are just regular people, they found in themselves the strength to go against even the hardest foes that the Astartes also go against. They still have to have so many abilities and will to live, to fight for the Emperor, even if they're not for themselves. So it's so inspiring. That is because people are very in love also with the mere humans that are the Astra Militarums. And then their commanders, which are the commissars, like Commissar Yorick, the guy that fought against the Dothraka blah blah someone.
Blah blah. Yeah. That's an interesting name for the fighter.
I mean,
the blah blah.
A freaking orc, huge general leader orc, who can kill most people, and probably some Astartes for sure, and probably he did. And that guy stood against him, and they respect each other. And orcs, I mean, to respect anyone, and if you're an orc, you have to respect another orc. It's difficult enough. You have to compete and beat. Have a battle, and whoever is stronger, the biggest, and the smelliest, is gonna win.
Yeah.
And here's this tiny little human with the metal arm, with the talon of Horus. No, sorry, just the talon, just the metal arm, fighting this guy, and he freaking respects the guy. It's like Batman and the Joker or something between those two guys. It's amazing.
Isn't it more like Batman and Two-Face? He wouldn't respect the Joker in any case.
Okay. Okay, it's like
Let's say.
whatever. you
Batman
know.
and Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
That's right.
two guys that are extremely developed in their own field. This case, one is an orc, one is a human. So you see, 40K does not get enough respect here, even from
Actually,
people
no,
that
yeah,
are fans.
really.
When they know both universes, they just measure. Oh, this is similar. Oh, this is similar. Oh, this is similar. Or
It's or
Star,
Star Wars.
not Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Star Trip. No, damn it. Troopers. What was that about the troopers? Sorry, guys.
Which Star Trek?
I'm sure someone is going to type it, but there's a Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers, the movie. I guess.
Yeah. So now people say that it's just like that.
Really? But it's not. I mean,
It's not. They can still take it. That's the point. They
have they
took
seen that movie?
inspiration
Or yeah.
somewhat of the Starship Troopers, that the Starships were like them or something.
But aren't the Starship Troopers normal guys with like commandos in space or something? Or what not?
It's the same as the Starships, but
But
it's just the
they're
same.
not big and having superhuman powers. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like
The same.
one person that did this a long time ago on our page, for Superheroes Bulgaria. He posted one of those pictures. Now, yes, I do agree with that when it was a picture of some anime characters that have something in common with superheroes, and it was Elle from Death Note and Batman, because both of them are detectives. And I say, and yeah, but they're totally different characters as personality. I mean, Batman does not sit with his legs on his chair eating sugary things all the time.
It's quite the opposite, actually.
I mean, sure, they're great detectives, but just one thing does not mean, or he's like Sherlock Holmes because also he's a great detective. He's also a drug addict in the books.
He also does not train.
So yeah, I mean,
Does not live
he
away.
plays a violin. I don't know if Batman actually does that. He never did it. So
Does not go
we
on
can't
to
just take
rooftops.
one aspect that we can't take just one aspect that looks the same and say that totally the same. I mean, again, you can say, for example, because we talked about John Carter of Mars and Flash Gordon. There you can say again inspiration. I don't remember who was the first in those comic book strips back in the 30s, or from the books again. Then it was kind of the same idea about you have a guy from Earth who goes to a different planet, and then he has to reserve that power and become, like the hero of the people. That's basically again like Gladiator and all the other things. But there you have the inspiration, and still a different idea because you have different things happening there. So yeah, here we can say, yeah, oh, okay, that's kind of similar, but it's still an inspiration, not a total rip-off.
Gladiator is like Spartacus.
Exactly. So nobody said anything about that when they have the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
we can't really keep doing that, just taking one aspect and say, yeah, it's absolutely the same, and Iron Man and Batman are the same because they're both billionaires. No.
No.
Or what was it? Batman is the same like Moon Knight because why? I even forget why. Because they're both having batarangs, and the other has this moon-shaped thingy,
Yeah.
and he used gadgets. Okay, who doesn't use gadget? Anyone who doesn't have normal superpowers uses gadget, and then Moon Knight actually has powers after that. So we can keep doing that. They're both using blasters. That means that they're the same.
Same, yeah. So in
know.
Halo, we
It's
have
absolutely the
Master
same.
Chief.
It's absolutely the
He's
same.
just
So,
like
yeah.
an Astardi. At least in this case, he has. I mean, he's a super soldier. He has the. I don't know if he can do anything without his armor, but the armor does help.
Yeah.
And the armor does help the Astartes, but underneath they're still very tall humans, like 2 meters or more. Have to check. Humans, they also have different heights, so they're like not exactly the same, but they're extremely huge and tall. They have 2 hearts and some of the other organs.
So does Doctor
Maybe.
Who, but again.
He also has two
He
hearts.
has two hearts, yeah.
They're like mega muscular, like mega. There's no like a skinny authority or something. They get out super, super slow, and they can still fight and be very effective, even if they get old, if they even live to that age. And they can be renewed with the Primaris program and live more and more and more, and so on. So there's no such procedure in any other universe where you just take a regular kid, make him go through hell to basically live on, qualified to be on a starry, then just put more organs in him and the gene seed from a particular Primarch, and that makes his body grow to this huge human being, which is all muscle. And then he puts the armor that makes him even bigger and also enhances his abilities, makes him heal faster, and recycles his urine and all of that. I mean, Astartes are just a lot of ideas put in one in a very original way, and their armor is nothing that I ever seen in any other universe. There's nothing like that in Dune. So going back to Dune, the Emperor of Mankind would totally slap the ass of Leto or Paul Atreides, because it's the Emperor. He can just splash a bucket of water on Leto. He's gonna die. Okay, he's just dead. He's like, Astartes, just put a lot of water on top of his palace, bake a tsunami, I do not care, and that's it.
Is that because is it actually the water because they don't have water in deserts there, or I mean?
Well, if you
stupid way
remember
to
the
die,
movie,
let's say.
now we
They
have to talk
actually
about
fight,
the movie.
yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, because in the movie there was a little baby worm that just took it from the sand into the water. That was a clear, foreshadowing as well, and got the worm. I mean, dead, drowned.
Yeah,
that's
in
it.
the water. Yeah, that's it.
That's what's gonna happen to the freaking Lido later on.
Imagine that the worm can die underwater just like anything else underwater.
Yeah.
It's not it's a marine creature, so yeah.
So the Emperor of Mankind from 40K does not even has to just slash him with his sword.
Yeah.
Does not even have to do that.
Even that, yeah.
Okay, guys, so a lot of differences between the two universes, how they look and feel. 40K is a lot more colorful in any kind of a way. Even when you take the gods, the armor, all the billions, trillions of planets there, all the aliens, all the 40,000 history of humankind, it's even enough to say that there's differences. There's shamans. I mean, the origin of the Emperor is still up in the air. What is the true version of it? But even the Emperor's origin is that basically a ton of shamans decide to die in order for them to be reborn as one creature, which is the Emperor of Mankind, and so on. And through the history of mankind, he was different people. He could be Alexander the Great and some other historical figures. It is not sure. And he can change his appearance. People can see him in different ways. One Primarch can see him like tall, young person. Another can see him as a very old person with golden armor or something. It's just different. He appears to different people in a different way to serve his own purposes. So that is the Emperor of Mankind. He has a ton of abilities. He could be a lot of people and, pretend to be a lot of people. He can have a moral code when he wants to. And not Poe and not Leto are anything of the sort. They could be they could see the future. They can calculate things according to that. They can program who's gonna have babies from who. It's a political marrying to someone things. The Emperor does not need to marry anyone. He doesn't need to make heir in a conventional way. That just does not happen this way in 40K. He doesn't care. He's the Emperor. He's just him the whole time.
Care, yes.
And him is whatever he wants him to be, so to speak. And now about the movie. So review of the movie of Dune 2. We're going to talk about is the movie good? Yes, it's good. Is it solid? Yes, it's solid.
As a movie, yes.
Is it
Yeah.
groundbreaking how everyone makes it out to be? It is not groundbreaking,
No.
please. Come on, it's ridiculous. There's nothing
It's a
groundbreaking about
good
it.
science fiction movie, but that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, groundbreaking stuff. No, I mean, good
It's a perfect continuation of the
action
first movie.
sequence. Yeah, that's it. Good action sequence. Some deep philosophy things. No, at least not the way it was shown.
Not
I would
really.
say not
That's
really.
the other
So
thing. Dune actually is
yeah,
actually not very deep in terms of philosophy at
yeah.
all. It's is it Poa Messiah or
Is it the
not?
chosen
Of his,
one?
yeah.
Is he?
He
Isn't
does not
he?
believe in that. How many times we've seen this when it comes
Yeah.
to originality?
He
Come
does
on,
not
people.
believe, but we believe. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
How many times we have seen this? The chosen one does not believe that he's a chosen one.
yeah.
Every time. Why cannot the chosen one, for once, actually believe in himself
That
and
he's the
be
chosen
like,
one. Yeah.
oh yeah, I had this feeling throughout my life that I have a
Yeah.
purpose, that I have to be someone. What? People cannot relate to this. Who cares? He's the chosen one. He's supposed to be this way.
Exactly.
He's not supposed to be mere mortal regular person. He can still understand people because he was raised with regular people. He can still be the one to lead them through whatever, like lead them to paradise, how it is in the movie. He does not have to be like pushed down to have his own self-doubts for us to relate to him. If we are intelligent people, we can always understand where the character is coming from. Yeah, when it's explained well, when his story is shown well, we do not need to have everything explained to us like stupid babies or something when it comes to relatability of any characters. We do not need to be Superman to relate to Superman, come from Krypton to relate to Superman, have superhuman strengths. We always relate how a particular character can go through anything, how he reacts to different situations, what are the choices that he makes when push comes to shove, and all of that makes him who he is. So if he believes in himself, that's a great example. Why is not that a good example?
Yeah.
Why is the better example? Oh, I'm doubting myself, but son, you are Paul Atreides. I've seen this. I know that it's you. No!
Well.
But everything points to the fact that you are Paul Atreides. No!
Wasn't that really something very, very recent that actually was again that story with the chosen one who doubts himself that he's the chosen one? I don't know. Well, if
The
actually
Matrix? That's not
somebody
recent.
no, something really recent, I think. But anyway, if people watch now the Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's pretty much the same story. Here you go. You have a person that doubts that he is the chosen one who can control the four elements. It's a great story, by the way, the cartoon about the TV show. I can't say anything, but pretty much here you go. Again, that's it. Nothing. Maybe that's why actually people like the One Piece more, because Luffy never doubted actually. So
Yeah, he is extremely
Yeah,
confident.
exactly.
Finally.
Yeah. Apparently people want to see first how the person doubts and then something else
It is because
happens.
people confuse confidence with arrogance.
Yes,
You
that's
cannot be
that's
both,
it. You cannot be
apparently.
both,
I mean,
yeah.
not be both. You cannot be confident and not be arrogant, which is not
Yeah.
the case. You can be confident and be absolutely objective about what you can do without going beyond that and becoming arrogant
Yeah.
and thus opposing your how you feel upon other people for no reason, and be like the Karen, a Karen about it. That's arrogance. But when you're just confident with what you can do, you just do it. You try to become better at it. You still become humble as a human being, and you just realize that the more you can do, the more you have to learn to do, the more you have to believe in yourself to go forward. So that is what people really don't get sometimes, and that's why writers in Hollywood think that we are all
They always
weak-minded,
do that story,
and we
yes.
should put our heroes down as possible so we can believe that that could be us, because we all doubt have a doubt in ourselves. Paul can still have doubts in himself because how he's going to undertake this, but he can still feel inside that he's the chosen one. So still you have nuance here. It's not just, yes, I know everything. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about, yes, the hero should know everything and just go for it. No, he can still have doubts how everything could go, but he can still believe in himself that he is that person that others can believe in,
Exactly.
so he can lead them. And when Paul gets eventually that substance of life, liquid of life, he starts seeing things. So he now sees how he can do it. Even if he does not believe in the prophecy, everything that is happening with him, with his mom, with his sister, even in the womb of his mom, talking to his mom for real, and he can see her in his vision as well. That's all a fact. He can prove that because when he does a certain action, something else happens. He sees that what he thinks that's gonna happen happens because he made it so, and he can prove that very easily. So, I mean, for so many years that we are watching, reading science fiction and superheroes, all of those things, we just want very good characters. I don't really see that weakness in Warhammer compared to other universes. I don't see the Emperor be like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm this person. No, he was born. He was born to be the freaking emperor. Yes, he didn't know that he should proceed in that case, but then he made he met Malkador the Sigillite. Malkador was like, "You can do it, emperor," and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm confident in my own abilities. I can do it." He did it. He's the emperor. Primarchs also know that they're the Primarchs. They kick ass. Why do we have to have this? Oh my gosh! You are no. You are
No.
no.
But I don't want.
But I don't want it.
I don't want
Just
it.
no. I don't want it. You have to be the king of Westeros. I don't want it. No. I'm beta man.
So yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the whole story. Obviously.
Oh gosh.
So yeah. People will keep saying that this is a masterpiece of a movie, and again, it's a pretty good movie. But a masterpiece.
No.
No, I mean.
No.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's why I think that now, if Henry Cavill does his job great, really we can see way better movies actually with Warhammer and TV shows and whatever they're planning to do. So because it will be much more interesting, and it's much more interesting how exactly they're going to do all of that, in what shape or form, how is it going to look, are they going to be in some maybe in, let's say in some animated shows better than what we see usually from what they do there in that direction. So it really it's something that will look even more right, I think, and people should give a chance for that, because really, okay, let's say that Dune gets a bit of a break because it's a known IP, also the books and stuff, but I really think that Warhammer can do better. They can get, if they want, but they need to direct some of the movies, given a great material. But really don't think that Dune will be the biggest sci-fi masterpiece that they say it is. They're just two solid movies, way better than the first one, of course. But even the director David Lynch doesn't like the old movie that he did. It was really a mess, the whole project that they did there, so can't blame him. He had hour and 40 minutes to do the two books in one. So yeah. These two parts are really great science fiction movies, but something groundbreaking that we have never seen, no. Good acting, still some things that a person told me that he knows a guy that read the books and watched the movie, and he explained him some things in the movie that now it makes more sense when you watch the movie for the second time, but again, you know them because a guy who read the book told you. So it shouldn't be like that.
And Ivy also said that they got something wrong.
Probably
in the movie.
We've seen how. So why should it be like that? Why should I go and read the book? Not every person will do that. Just like if it's a comic book movie, not every person will go and read the comic book movie to know things about the character. So, but when you have a universe like that, things have to make sense even in the movie. If I have to ask a guy who read the book, wait a minute, what happened over there? Because we don't understand that something is missing. Then you have a thing that you have to explain, and not how freaking Black Manta got all of his crew together.
Yeah, that's not relevant
But
actually to the
things
quality
that
of the plot.
exactly things that are really connected with the story, if you just brush them off and say, well, the movie is going to get more than 3 hours anyway, if you believe that, okay, then lose some other elements.
Yeah,
There
just
were some things that we didn't need there. Again,
Paul Atreides going to the bathroom.
for example, yeah. How does this work in the desert? Yeah,
Great.
how did they make the holes into the sand so that they dig themselves? Should we watch this for 2 hours, for example? How they dig holes?
Yeah.
So that we see how they hide inside, or should we watch all of his training to become a Fremen, to know how to walk into the sand? Should we get a spin-off movie of how this walk actually originated?
Yeah.
And who was the first to perform it, and how many times he had to do it before the worm
And what
actually
does
gets
Michael
him.
Jackson thinks about that?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe he was actually the first. He just came down and told them, "Now look, my man." Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he just performed it.
Okay.
So let's see what Barry has to say.
Okay. So I wonder if any of them will serve the Imperium. I doubt they will do out of purpose, more out of servability. I mean, the Harkonnens could serve the Imperium. They're gonna be disgusting. I mean, all of them can technically serve the Imperium, but they're still going to be under the Emperor. That's not really the interesting thing. The interesting thing is the next comment.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I guess they went for the trope, or really the one to be super cool. No, I missed the previous one. Oh, that's what they did in the movie. It's kind of wrong. Paul 100% understood he was the one in the prophecy, and so did everyone else. Which was the problem? He wanted to cancel the prophecy.
Good, that's much more interesting.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's then a Hollywood.
Well, yeah, instead of that, no one
turnover.
believes here, and apparently not even Chani, who was supposed to be him, with him, not him, to be with him.
But she was a Karen.
And she was a Karen here, yeah. Oh, why did you do that? Let's just stay together in the sand and never do what our destiny tells us to do.
Yes. Let's just do.
So and now, of course, probably in the third movie she will play a bigger role in the things because she's the leading female character, and
for some reason
maybe Paul will just stay somewhere in the corner and say, "Now you do everything. The prophecy says so, so I'm just gonna stay over here."
You bullied me into it.
Yes, exactly.
And Zendaya with her one face in this whole movie was like this.
Yeah, probably that's the only person that was kind of not believable in the movies.
I cannot do such a mean face. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
No, it does not work. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, so that's not fault of the universe or Dune the books, it's fault of the movie in Hollywood, I guess. Okay, and then Ivy says, yeah, I guess they went for the trope, or I really don't want to be super cool. Are you sure it's me? I mean, I'll take it, but I'm too humble, you guys. See how humble I am. Look at me. Flex.
By the way, they even say it in the movie. There is a scene in which he says, "No, I'm not the Rizan now. Harab, Rajit, Jafar, Aladdin." Okay, Razel Flagel. And the others who believes the part of the Fremen who believes in that even say, "Look, he's so humble. The real one would never say that he's the real one." And I say, well, how does it make any sense? I mean, yeah. Okay, so that explains a lot, actually, that in the book is a different thing. Okay, I really don't remember the book, really, it was a long time ago.
I mean, so. I feel that whoever wrote this, which I think is the director, because he's writing the third one.
Is he? Oh, okay. So.
They have like a wrong understanding of what the leader is, like a good leader. So, did I say the leader? A leader?
A leader.
Okay. So, a leader has to be very like modest, down to earth, and objective, like I've said. That does that mean that he should not know his destiny or he shouldn't feel his destiny. That does not mean that he would not know that he's the one. I don't know why they don't understand these things. He should
Again,
know.
they probably think that the audience won't take it as believable that he
Or disbelieving himself.
just that he just believes in himself, and all of a sudden he starts, because sure there will be people who will say, but all of a sudden he's able to do everything. Well, yeah, if you believe in yourself, so all of a sudden you can do it. So again,
No, he still did whatever he did, and when he
Yeah.
drank the water, then he was able to see clearly which was the point of this
Yeah.
whole ceremony to begin with. So that's explained.
Yeah.
That's greatly explained. Then when he went actually to the temple, he was already there, and they gave like a shot from a different place. So I was confused if that was
Yeah,
the place.
yeah.
But then they gave the other shot from like a huge door in the rock, and I was like, oh, so that is here. But where did he come? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so yes, in the book, the prophecy means the destruction of all worlds under Paul's name. He understood it and he did everything he could to prevent it. But by doing so, he made the prophecy come true against his will. He was doomed to fulfill it. Yeah, because we all know that when you want to prevent something, you actually do more to establish it, actually,
Was
to happen.
actually-
The Anakin effect, which I
Yeah,
like to call.
if I can tell us, was actually the duo of Paul with lost in his boy's character. What was his name? With Baron Harkonnen's other nephew, not Raban, but the other nephew.
His left leg.
Yes, okay, as we say. Was it really that hard for Paul to win it, or actually it's easier in the book? That's something that I want to know very much, because if easier in the book, that would explain, because he believes in everything, and here it was like kind of okay, let's make it a bit more dramatic.
Also, Paul gets stabbed 2 times and doesn't die. And the Harkonnen guy just gets stabbed once.
And that's it. Yeah, once, but in the correct place. You know.
I guess it was worst place.
Yeah.
Because it's not the spice which helps Paul. I don't think so.
No. I mean, no display of any power whatsoever here, except knife fight.
Oh, with Fayette Rauta,
Yeah.
the name is cringe. Indeed, he was an... What is that? Edgelord?
Edgelord.
In the book.
Kind of in the movie, he's kind of... Yeah.
And hi to Chris. Okay, dear Ivy, please tell us. We gotta go.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Hi, Chris. I'm sorry. We are streaming for 1 hour and 17 minutes. So we really gotta go. But we went through everything from, the 40k lore, the differences and similarities between 40k and Dune. And besides being the fact that the movies actually screw up Dune a bit as lore, still the differences, similarities do stay the same, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's really no difference. Despite the fact that the Dune gets a plus, but not being a pussy when it comes to presenting their main character. And guys, if you ever want any help in your personal relationships, sex education, literally, fitness, health, anything that this includes, I do that on OnlyFans just because it's a great platform to do anything really, not only, content that's, I'm not gonna mention what, I'm not doing that, I'm doing the meaningful things there to help people. So anything that has to do with your personal growth, fitness, health, and personal life, I'm there for you. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel for more Warhammer content in general. And me and Logan sometimes just mention other stuff that you might be interested in, like the comic book stuff, because everything is freaking connected when it comes to the Hollywood machine and how they make everything the same. That's kind of the issue. They ruin everything by trying to adapt it. And although it's, this is mostly good adaptation, that is, it's still not as faithful as it should be. And now with Henry Cavill being on the full front of everything that has to do with the future Warhammer projects, whether that be live action movies or series, I'm not sure about the animation, probably not the animation, but the live action, we have the best chance that we ever had in any universe to be faithfully portrayed on screen. And Warhammer is totally something that deserves it because it's so interesting and diverse in like all the ways that really count. And it's not diverse because it's cool, but it's diverse because each and every race in Warhammer, uh, it gives it just gives a ton of amazing lore, and you can just lose yourself just one story of Warhammer, and you can be only like a fan of the Necrons and just lose yourself um, throughout what they have to offer in terms of story. Just in one thing, which we cannot say about most of the other universes. So we have a lot to look forward to, and I think that Warhammer can offer any sci-fi fan something that he actually never experienced in the way that you can, sorry, hit the mic, experience it with Warhammer, so to speak. And even Logan here, uh, who knew nothing about Warhammer before, uh, comes to now learn more things and be more interested in that, because there's no bull crap in Warhammer.
Yeah,
It is what it is. You get the action, you get the story, you actually get some compelling food for thought. So everything that you actually want in a universe. Yes, it's grim, dark, but you do have some kind of interesting development. So it's not like totally hopeless, despite the fact that it kind of looks like that. Okay, guys, so love it. I wish you a great new week. We're going to see each other very soon, hopefully. Let me know what you think in the comments as always. You can participate in the poll, Dune versus Warhammer, that is on the community tab, and follow me on the social media stuff down there. Also Patreon if you want me to review anything really. Yeah, love you guys. From me, the 40k Empress, and Logan.